Have you ever seen a tiny spoonful of shiny black pearls on a fancy plate and wondered, why is that so expensive? And then you look at sushi, topped with bright orange fish eggs, and think, wait, aren't those basically the same thing? Both are just fish eggs, right? Well, not exactly. Welcome to the fascinating world of caviar and fish roe. Two terms often used interchangeably, but they're worlds apart when it comes to origin, preparation, and prestige. So let's dive deep into caviar versus fish roe. What truly separates these two delicacies, and why one can cost thousands per kilo while the other is just a few bucks at your local supermarket. Let's get into it, right here on History of Simple Things. Let's start with the simplest question. What exactly is fish roe? In the most basic sense, roe just means fish eggs. It's the fully ripe internal egg masses of female fish or certain marine animals. These eggs are the same kind that, if fertilized, could become baby fish. And here's the key part. All caviar is fish roe, but not all fish roe is caviar. Roe is a broad category that includes eggs from different fish species: salmon, trout, capelin, herring, flying fish, and more. If it's a fish and it produces eggs, those eggs can technically be called roe. You've probably seen them before. The small orange beads on sushi, that's tobiko or flying fish roe. The larger, juicier ones on Japanese dishes like ikurodon, that's salmon roe. These are all types of roe, but not caviar. Caviar isn't just any fish egg. It specifically comes from sturgeon, an ancient family of fish that has existed since the time of dinosaurs. To be called true caviar, the eggs must come from sturgeon species like beluga, osetra, or savruga. And there's another catch: it must be salt-cured and unfertilized. That curing process is what transforms simple fish eggs into luxurious caviar. The word caviar itself comes from the Persian word caviar, meaning bearing eggs. Historically, it became a delicacy in royal courts across Russia, Iran, and Europe, where only the wealthiest could afford it. So when you see the label caviar on a menu, it doesn't just mean fish eggs. It's shorthand for sturgeon roe that's been carefully harvested, salted, and aged to perfection. Let's talk about where they come from, because this is where things start to really differ. For most roe, like salmon or capelin, the harvesting process is relatively straightforward. The fish are caught, and their eggs are gently removed, cleaned, and either salted or marinated. These roes are usually consumed fresh, smoked, or added to dishes for texture and flavor. Caviar, on the other hand, is a different story. Sturgeon are slow-growing and take years, sometimes decades, to mature. The females might not produce eggs until they're 10 or even 20 years old. Historically, caviar was obtained by killing the sturgeon and removing the ovaries. But in modern aquaculture, more sustainable no-kill methods have emerged, where the eggs are extracted without harming the fish. After harvesting, the eggs are carefully washed, salted, and sorted by size, texture, and color, a process that requires incredible precision. Each batch is graded for its sheen, firmness, and flavor profile. This labor-intensive process, combined with the rarity of sturgeon, is a big reason why caviar costs so much. Now, let's talk about the fun part: the taste. Caviar and roe might look similar, but their flavor profiles are completely different. Caviar is known for its buttery, nutty, and delicate flavor. It's subtle, never fishy, and the texture is silky and smooth. When you press it against the roof of your mouth, the beads gently pop, releasing a burst of creamy brine that tastes like the ocean, but refined, not overpowering. Different types of sturgeon caviar have unique notes. Beluga, for example, is famous for its soft texture and rich flavor. Osetra tends to be nuttier and firmer, while Sevruga is smaller but more intense. Fish roe, like salmon or flying fish eggs, are bolder. They're saltier, crunchier, and have a more pronounced sea taste. Tobiko adds a pop and a bit of sweetness to sushi, while salmon roe bursts with a strong oceanic flavor. So while caviar is like a fine wine, complex and subtle, fish roe is more like a lively cocktail, bright, loud, and fun. Caviar and roe also play very different roles in cuisine. Caviar is usually served as the star of the show, on blinis, toast points, or with a dollop of crème fraîche. It's eaten in small portions, savored slowly, often paired with champagne or chilled vodka. There's even a proper way to eat it, using a mother-of-pearl spoon. Metal spoons can alter the flavor, so connoisseurs use materials that don't react with the delicate eggs. Roe, on the other hand, is much more versatile and accessible. It's sprinkled on sushi, mixed into pasta sauces, added to canapés, or used to add color and crunch to various dishes. In short, caviar is luxury, fish roe is flavor. That's the big question. Caviar or fish roe? Who wins? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want luxury, tradition, and subtle complexity, caviar is the king. If you want bold flavor, color, and variety, fish roe steals the show. One represents the height of refinement, the other celebrates accessibility and creativity. At the end of the day, they both come from the same idea: tiny pearls of life from the sea that humans turned into culinary treasures. Whether you're savoring a spoonful of caviar or enjoying a sushi roll topped with tobiko, you're tasting centuries of history and craftsmanship in one small bite. So the next time someone asks, "Isn't caviar just fish eggs?" you'll know the answer: yes, but it's also so much more than that. From the ancient sturgeon of the Caspian Sea to the colorful tobiko on your sushi, these little pearls have a story that's as rich and diverse as the ocean itself. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.